Does and says things that nobody else wants to do and say, and doesn't cater to the politicians. He's just real. I started out hating the guy when he ran, and now I'm wearing the hats.
How far did you guys come today to get here?
Oh my god. We live in the area, well, sort of the area.
Okay.
She flew
I'm from Phoenix.
Wow, okay, just for this?
Yeah.
Since you flew here from so far away, what has Trump done that you're still supporting him? What is it, the economy? Is it the free speech? Is it military? What's the number one thing you're like, yes, Trump, thank you so much?
That he sticks to his values and does and says things that nobody else wants to do and say, and doesn't cater to the politicians. He's just real. I started out hating the guy when he ran, and now I'm wearing the hat. So
Explain that transition to me. What was that crossing point where you were like, all right, I'm jumping on the Trump train?
Actually, the Democrats had a lot to do with it.
Because they're so radical. They're so radical. It's kind of like they pushed you to him.
Exactly, they did, exactly.
They're so extreme.
They're so extreme, and he's so level-headed. Yeah, you have to support the guy.
So many times you can be called, a transphobic moron before you're like, okay, I'm done messing with you
That
guys.
doesn't make sense.
Exactly, yes.
Are you guys in college at all?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he graduated college.
No, I already graduated. She's in college.
Yeah.
What school do you go to?
I'm going to be starting at a Virginia college very soon. And
Are you nervous about how liberals colleges are? Are you nervous?
I'm going to just stick to myself. It's not like I'm not super outright with any political views. It's just like I'm going to go to school and just go to school. Unless somebody asks me, then I'll let them know. But it's one of those things I'm not as vocal about, just because that's how I am.
You're going to school for an education, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe the professor should take your words and not push any type of liberal agenda in the classrooms.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah. I hope it wouldn't. I mean, I don't agree with how liberal colleges are, always trying to have some sort of agenda and push it on college students. If you have to push it on somebody, then you know what I'm saying?
Maybe it's not so popular.
Yeah.
So I want to go back to where you said the Democrats were so extreme. Did you guys watch the debates, the second round of the debates?
I have not watched him, no.
I saw clips.
Did you see the clip where they all raised their hand in favor of free healthcare for illegal immigrants?
Yes.
Would that be an example of something extreme where you're like...
I don't even know if the majority of Democrats support that, but it's I don't know if they're trying to pander to a tiny percentage who are very vocal, but that's just too far, obviously.
That's a good point, because there is a tiny minority of liberals and leftists, we'll call them leftists because that's what they are, that scream about, children in cages and immigrants and illegal immigrants, and they're so out of touch. They're shown because they're so vocal, because it's so crazy. So that's one example. Is there anything else you can think of that?
It's led based on emotions. Of course, nobody wants to see little kids with their parents coming here, trying to get here through Mexico, and then end up dying or something because of the harsh conditions that they endured to get here. No one wants to see that, but then it's there are ways to come here that you should just follow, so that way you're not in that position. And it's one of those things that is tough to say, but people just need to accept that.
Another thing is, if you do support legal immigration, now you're... that kind of gets me. As I said, I came here from Phoenix, so the borders are a big, issue back there. I work in a lot of areas right where I can see that I can throw a rock across the border, and it's nothing like what the Democrats are saying. It's and if you mention it at all, it's just so far out of touch with reality that I can't believe it.
So wait, you're telling me that there aren't just children lined at the border?
Right. There aren't cages, with locks on them, no.
Someone let AOC know this. Someone needs to let her know.
She's a big one, too.
Didn't she pose in front of an empty lot or something?
Yeah,
Isn't that?
Parking lot. And the gate was open too. You can see in it, so it's just an empty parking lot.
Did she
with
know
an
that?
She probably doesn't even know what she was doing there. I feel like she's like an NPC or a robot, and she was programmed to go there. So
she's like, oh, this looks like the border, I guess. Let's just stand here and pretend to cry. Did you see this mic?
Yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
This guy right here is exactly why I'm able to come out here every single day and go all around the country to these events, expose the leftists at these events. He's the reason why, is because he's supporting us at the store. He's buying the products that you buy shirts anyway, right?
Exactly.
So why can't you do that at InfoWarsStore.com?